Hello, everyone. This is Susan Gerbic from Psychics Explained. Today, we're going to be doing another video. This is another deep dive into one of the readings from Operation Dill Pickle. This is Lady Phyllis. She is a medium that has been recommended by Thomas John, none other than the grief vampire Thomas John. And I will show you a minute-long promotion of Lady Phyllis and the reason why I have picked her. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, which I hope, you will see that there is a playlist of other videos that I have done with Lady Phyllis, including one which was part of the Sting, done with one of the women in our skeptic community named Cindy. She plays the part of, I believe it's Diane. And then there's also a reading in there of me that Lady Phyllis read me. So this was a Zoom event, a gallery reading that happened back in, I think it was December of 2023. So I have been sitting on this video, well, not literally sitting on it, but I've been hanging on to this video for over a year, doing research and trying to figure out if Lady Phyllis is somebody that would be a target of a bigger, more extensive sting in the future. And at this moment, I think the jury's out. She is not, but I think that it's still a good idea to research what is going on by evaluating these readings. Yes, they are cold reading. Yes, they are tedious and they're long and there's a lot of emotion and it's very difficult to watch, but it needs to be done because what happens is in these smaller group settings, like this one where I paid to attend and and they sent me the video of about, I think there's 10 readings, something like that. Some of them are her students and some of them are not. And so in these smaller sittings, like situations like this, we can see where real manipulation is happening. The people who you see on TV, the Tyler Henrys, the Teresa Caputos, the Sylvia Browns, those kind of people, that's a different kind of mediumship that's going on there. What we're seeing in this video are more typical readings of more of a personal relationship somebody's having with them, where they're able to hot read them only in because they have had multiple readings with the person, or putting out generic cold reading statements. And what we hear from people who support these kinds of psychics constantly is they help, they're here to help and get over the grieving process, which I think is not true, because as we've seen from many of these videos, they're prolonging grief. They're trying to cut them off from getting real therapy, and they are trying to keep the sitter stuck in their grief cycle by not allowing them to move on from that. I mean, death is a part of life. And to constantly be thinking you're able to call up your dead loved one at any moment that you happen to have some money free to do that, it keeps a person stuck. And yes, these psychics do tell them, well, make new friends and yeah, go ahead and take classes or whatever. They're still keeping them stuck in that cycle that somebody's always watching over you. They're here to help you make decisions. All you got to do is reach into your intuition or manifest it or something like that. I mean, I don't even think they have a real clear answer. The other thing we see is on some of their websites are that this is for entertainment only. Also, they say they don't do anything that deals with legal, medical, or financial, or any of those kinds of things. But we see once you get into these gallery readings like this, where Lady Phyllis thinks that she is completely with friends, that we're all just on the same page and nobody is going to call her out on it, that there is no entertainment value in this at all, zero, and that there is medical information happening as well as financial and so on. And that's there. And I think that we have to watch this to document it. I know it's cold reading as much as it's cold reading and not one of her students where she's hot reading them. I know it's cold reading. We already know that. It's 100% standard cold reading. But people always tell me that there is things that are said that there's no way anybody could know. So what I want to understand is what is it that these people are seeing that they think is so spot on and so specific. So far, and all the readings that I've listened to, not just Lady Phyllis, but every other one I've listened to, I'm not finding anything that is specific. It's all, if you think about it later, it might seem a little specific, but once you look at transcripts or actually look back over the video and really see what's going on, there's not anything specific. Though Lady Phyllis did have, as far as I can tell, a bit of a hit yesterday, and that's the first one I've seen in the hours I've watched of videos already. And the one she had was she figured out that the woman the woman admitted she had had a dog when she was young, and the dog has obviously died. But the hit that she had was Lady Phyllis said, "Was it a big dog, a dark dog?" And the woman said, "Yes, it was a large dog, it was a Labrador, and it was chocolate, dark brown." So that was a hit. Whether it was a real hit, like um, she really is talking to a dead person, I highly doubt it. She didn't know the dog's name, when it died, any of that stuff. But she did throw something out where the reader, the sitter, could say she did know something specifically. And that's what I'm looking for right now. Are there anything happening that looks like it could be specific? So it's, yes, I already know it's cold reading. We all know it's cold reading, but what we're looking at is that. Okay. So what I want to show you first, because I showed this on one of my other videos and I just want to do it again so that it's out here. I'm going to show you quickly a
Hey
1 minute
guys, it's
video.
Thomas John here.
This is Thomas John, and I'm going to show you this video that he put out. Oh gosh, I can't quite remember, not too long ago. And he is the reason why I'm targeting Lady Phyllis is because Thomas John endorsed her and told me to go check her out. So I'm checking her out, right? We've been focusing on her for a while now. What my goal is to get through these videos, hopefully with your guys' help, feeling like you're here with me right now. I feel like I'm able to get through these videos and get them all evaluated, get all the notes done, and to be able to write the article that needs to be written so I can end my involvement with her and move on to the other mediums that I have queued up and ready to go. Okay, so this is Lady Phyllis's endorsement from Thomas John. So I'm going to play this. It is a minute 38 seconds. And if I can tolerate this, you can tolerate this.
Hey guys, it's Thomas John here from Seatbelt Psychic and the Thomas John Experience. I wanted to do a video for you guys. I've done a video about this person before, but I thought I would do another video about this person. And many of you have asked me, do I know a great medium? Because, often I'm busy and overbooked and I've got so many clients. And a lot of you have said, hey, do you know anyone that you can recommend? I always am careful about that because I really, in order to recommend somebody, I have to feel that they have integrity and that they do really amazing work and that they are an evidential quality medium. I can't just recommend any random person. So a person that I would recommend to you to try out, who's a wonderful medium, former student of mine, good friend of mine, and somebody who I think does really exceptional work, is Lady Phyllis. Okay, so you can go over to ladyphyllis.com and book a reading with her. She is a really good, high quality medium. So if you are looking for somebody like that, I would highly recommend Lady Phyllis. Lady Phyllis, great medium, great, great intuitive, great energy about her, great teacher. Ladyphyllis.com. And you can go over and make sure you tell her when you book with me that you were referred by me. And you should check her out. Lady Phyllis, great medium. So if you're looking for a medium, that's somebody to check out. Bye for now.
Okay, so that's very interesting. Why is it that he has to, well, if she's so great, why wouldn't she just have tons of people lined up to give readings to? Why does he need to advertise? I mean, you think about it. I wonder how many dead missing cases solved that she's had, found missing bodies, dead bodies. I wonder how many she's done. None, Okay, zero, zip, zip, zero. So she hasn't done such a great job for doing that, right? Okay. Also, why does he have to say, tell her I sent you? Tell her that I sent you to why? Why do we need to tell him? Why do we need to tell Lady Phyllis that Thomas John sent him? Because is there a kickback involved? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised. Thomas John doesn't do anything for free. Not if if he has some way of getting in the door. Okay, let me queue up this video. All right. So that is why I picked Lady Phyllis. Now, Lady Phyllis also has a person on the call. I don't know if she's going to be in the video clip that I just gave you, but she has a woman named Tracy who worked for Thomas John for many, many years, many years. And Tracy and Thomas John apparently have had a falling out, and now Lady Phyllis has Tracy as her assistant. So I don't know if you're going to hear her voice in this video. Like I said, I haven't watched this video in over a year, and it was only during the reading that I had only in the 2 hour reading that I had. Oh, Hamilton's here. So I guess he's ready to get started because I know how much he enjoys these. All right, Hamilton, bud, you ready? What do you see out there? Yeah, he's telling you. So, all right, pencils or pens, you guys are going to need these, and you need to take notes because it comes at you fast and furious. It is a 21-minute reading. I'm not going to show 21 minutes in a group. I'm going to break it up to at a time where it feels like there's a natural break. The person she's going to read is somebody named Paula. I have blurred out her face. She may come out of the blur a little bit, but oh well. And she's not somebody who's going to be identified. Nobody's going to be able to go, oh my gosh, that's Paula who lives next door to me. Well, if they do, let me know. I'd like to get in touch with this Paula person. I think Hamilton's going to come sit on my keyboard or something right now. So let's bear with me. All right. I'll blame anything that might go wrong on Hamilton. You will be able to see Lady Phyllis the whole time. Only the sitter is going to be blurred, but I'm not doing anything with her volume or her voice. And the only thing that appears on the screen is her first name. So nothing is really going to identify her.
Hi, Paula. How are you? We have to unmute Paula.
There we go.
Hi, Paula. Is your
Hi.
husband here or your husband's on the other side?
Here.
Your husband's here. Do you have a male contemporary that's on the other side, a brother or a brother-in-law?
Um, uh, Contemporary. Okay, yes, brother. And when you say contemporary, is that like, could that be a colleague also?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a
So I
contemporary.
have both. Yeah.
Yeah, but your brother is on the other side.
Yes.
Yeah. And were you not close with your brother?
Um, um, Physically, no, because Utah, he lived in Utah. Then he did project work in DC. He'd come up and visit us on holidays, and he was a pain in the neck a lot of times, but I loved him, and he was a good brother.
He loved you too, but what I get from him is a Rolling Stone. You know, Papa was a Rolling Stone, like just somebody who didn't stay in one place. And that's why I asked if you weren't close with him. Like, in other
Um,
words,
hmm, well, now I wouldn't say he was a Rolling Stone. I think he liked he would rather drive across country than fly.
okay, well, but he wasn't like with you. In other
No,
words,
no.
that's what I'm like. In other words,
Okay.
you weren't close, and he had a separate. I'm not feeling like you were in his life every
No,
day. You were
no,
not.
no, no.
You weren't having dinner once a week. This was a separate, you
Right.
know,
We were distance.
distance, and there were friends and family that you were not part of. Like, in other words, that they had
Right.
their own
Yeah.
existence. Yeah.
Yes.
But I want to say he never stopped thinking of the family. Now, it was just the two of you, or is there another sister? I think there's
A
another.
sister.
there is a sister, and you are close with your sister.
She's passed.
She's passed. So the sisters, but you were close with your sister, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you take care of her in the end?
At one point, but not at the end.
But
No.
you did take care of her because she's
I
thanking you. Yeah. Do you know
she's
what that?
thanking me. Yeah, she was going through some mental problems, and I was trying to help her.
Did she have? I mean, I don't want to say anything uncomfortable, but did she have a drinking problem?
Not that I know of.
But there were issues for her. Like in
Yeah,
other words, she was not settled in life.
no.
There were problems, and there were always there was always like a tsunami around her.
Right,
Correct?
right.
Yeah.
I think it came on later in life.
Who's the M name? Marie, Marilyn, living or here? Is there a Marie past? An aunt?
Aunt Mary?
Well, Mary, Marie would work. So there's an Aunt Mary?
From a long time ago.
Yeah, like a great aunt.
Yes, yes,
Okay. At like
yes,
grandmother's sister. And you
yes, yes,
okay. So your mom is passed, correct?
yes,
Okay. And your dad is also passed.
yes,
And they were together in life.
yes.
Are they buried together?
No, no. One was cremated, one was
Was
buried.
buried. Yeah, but they're saying like that didn't even separate us. Like they're
Yeah,
together. They're together.
good,
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Your mom is the one who's been buried?
No,
It's your dad. He went
yes.
first.
He went second.
He went second. It's just, I can't get
Yeah,
from what it is, but they want you to know that they are together.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So your father, wait a second. You said your father's the one who's buried, correct?
Okay, let's just pause for just a second because that's a lot. It, it, a lot going on here. And Hamilton wants to definitely tell me what his thoughts are. I need a cat interpreter. We need a cat psychic here to be able to tell us what he's actually saying about it. What else did you think? Okay. So again, right off the bat, she has to ask, is your husband alive or dead? Right off the bat. That you would think that would be pretty obvious one way or the other, like within seconds. Considering that Lady Phyllis can see these things in seconds and hear them and talk to them, and she can even smell them and all sorts of stuff. So do you have a brother or brother-in-law that has died? And then Paula says, how about a coworker? Oh my goodness. So she finds out the brother is dead. He's in Utah, and the whole thing, she talks about this a lot. Were you close? And again, that means two different things. Were you close in relationship wise? Or were you close in distance? Did you live far apart? Did you live near each other? So it's interpreted however the sitter wants to interpret it. It means whatever the sitter wants it to mean. So the medium is waiting for the response to say, oh, well, we've quarreled recently and we don't speak, or you live down the street from me. And so we were very close. And then again, it depends on what you mean by now, because you could say we've always been close, but we're not close the last couple of days, or we've always lived near each other except recently, or we've always lived apart and we just moved close. In other words, it's whatever the sitter wants it to be. And she talks about her brother being in Utah, and then he moved to DC and so on. So I guess Paula was assuming that when it said, is he close, that she meant distance, like how many miles away he lived. And so she was describing a brother who had moved a couple times, and Lady Phyllis assumed that meant that he was a rolling stone, gathers no moss. And the sitter, good for her, she stood up for that and said, no, that I wouldn't think that applies at all. He did like to drive instead of flying. And so Lady Phyllis is trying to take credit for that as well. So he's a rolling stone. I wrote, duh. He's moved around a bunch. But then she shut me down too. If you weren't close, there, okay, how about, are there others? And Lady Phyllis did say there is a sister. Now, that was a hit, but what are her chances of getting that right? And she didn't know that she had died. Paula had to tell her that the sister had died, and she asked her if she was close, and she said, yeah. And then she was talking to her about, did you take care of her? And did you take care of her? Meaning what? I have taken care of her. I have in past. I am doing it now. I did it right to the end. What does that mean? Again, it means whatever the sitter wants it to mean. And she says, I did take care of her for a while. I helped her out with some of her mental issues. And then Lady Phyllis goes in and adds this nice little sweet thing. Well, was she an alcoholic? All right. And she's like, no, I don't think so at all. Isn't that kind? Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you ask the dead sister? Better yet, why don't you tell us some names? Lady Phyllis has no names for us, but goes with one of the most common tropes of mediumship, throwing out a letter of the alphabet or possibly some generic names that are very common. So she throws out, who is it who had the M name? How many people listening to this right here now have an M name in somewhere in your family, living or dead? Doesn't matter. They don't have to be dead. They could be living as well. So I think probably all of us do, right? A Marie or a Marilyn? Marie, really? Goodness gracious. How much more common can you get? And so here this Paula goes to a great aunt named, they called Aunt Marie. Oh, that's how far back she had to go. But you know, the dead are the dead. So why would that be strange to have great grandma or great grandma or great aunts coming through? I would assume the way they make it sound is that these people stay in heaven, if I mean, even if it's true, which it isn't, for a long time. So wouldn't we have, Neanderthal relative? I mean, do they have to have known these people in now? No, of course not. You have people who are talking about people, they say the people in the dead are following and watching the what's going on in the lives of people they've never met. It's like I guess we're just like this giant novella, this television drama that these um, dead people just watch over us and just tune in every so often to see what we're doing in our lives. It's right. Parents have died. No kidding. Totally blew this. She says, were they buried together? No, they weren't. One was buried and one was cremated. And then she says, was the father was first, right? And she like, no, my mom was first. Oh, so your mom was buried? No, my dad was buried, or whatever it was. I don't even remember now. And then she comes in with this nice trope, but that didn't separate them. So so far, she's just playing the odds with these very common names, like an M name, Marie, Marilyn, very common. Marilyn was very common back in the days when Marilyn Monroe was very common. Um, and the trope of that the father was probably died first, and that um, just common kinds of things. Nothing that I don't see anything here so far that's specific. Specific. Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
He's bringing up, is there something remarkable about his footstone or his headstone? He keeps taking me to that they brought me right there, and he's talking about his I don't know if it's a footstone or a headstone, but he keeps taking me there. What's remarkable about it?
It's a headstone which my brother designed. I think there's some Irish designs in it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And yeah.
And is he looking at angels? Like, is he looking at angel wings? And when you go to the cemetery next time you go, just take a look around and see if there's like a statue of an angel nearby.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Just
Well,
about the statuary that's nearby.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just a way that they validate that this is them. But he's very proud of that headstone. It's like,
Well,
well,
my brother
it's,
did a great job.
yeah,
Yeah.
unique. It stands out.
Yes, it is unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And do you have three children?
Uh, my husband and I have two. My husband has four, so there's six.
There's six. Why are they talking about three? Like, what's the same about three of them? Or are there three grandchildren? What would, oh, well, there were three. The three would be you, your brother, and your sister. That's three.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. Because, you just have to try to fit it in. Where are they talking about the three?
There are three kids in my family. Yeah.
Right. So you said two children.
Yes.
And is their father still here?
Yeah. Yes.
Their father's still here, but their grandparents are on the other side, your in-laws.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Were you friends with the in-laws?
Yes.
Who's the CL name? Claire? Claire, Clara, Carl,
Ah,
Kathleen. I hear the C and the L. If you
ugh.
don't if you don't know who it is, you'll think of it at 2 o'clock tonight. Don't worry. Right. Okay. So all the kids are here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And there are grandchildren.
Yes.
Is there one grandchild that crossed over?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Nobody had a miscarriage?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right, because I have a small, and it could belong, like I said, could belong to somebody else, but
My
just
mother did. My mother had a miscarriage.
the mother had a miscarriage. So that's the child. So we have a child on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and that was a brother.
It was.
Because it's a boy.
Uh,
So your mom passed before your father.
yes.
And who passes from dementia? Who has dementia at the end?
Probably my husband's mother.
Okay, because I have someone here that had dementia. That CL name does not want to go away.
I had a medium ask me the same thing a week and a half ago.
A CL name?
Yes.
That's
And I'll
really,
stand.
that's really funny.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know. I just,
Claude. How about let's go out of I'm saying Clara, maybe Claude. Charles, that's a C and an L too.
mm, shoot. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't.
Well, they're around, and you'll think of who it is. It could even be a neighbor or somebody that you're not even thinking of. Who was in the church? Who was a priest? Where is the priest connection? Who had a relative, an uncle that was a priest or a pastor or something who worked in the church, a rector? Because I have a collar. It's not necessarily a priest collar. You can call any contact. Oh, but Daniel could keep his vitamins. Hold on, Alexa, stop.
Unless you can help.
Yeah, well, maybe she knows who the CL is.
Darn, I'm going to have to give that good thought. A priest.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a priest, but someone,
Minister.
a minister or a rector or a deacon even, but there was somebody on the other side. But you'll think of it. You'll think of it. So was your dad a veteran?
Yes.
Yeah. And did you also have that triangular flag for him? Because he's very proud of,
Yes.
he's very proud. He's showing me the triangular flag and he's proud of it. Now, your mom, she passed. Did she live with you? Or do you have her knitting basket? Did she have a basket with crochet or knitting?
No, because she never did. She never did that. But when I had a reading about a week and a half ago, the medium said, I said, so what's my mom doing? She said, well, she's knitting and crocheting. I'm like, what? She never did that.
That's what she's showing me, that she's actually sitting and knitting, but she's showing me one of the people have those.
Oh, a big sewing
yes,
thing
like
opened up. Yes.
Yeah.
With
She's
thread.
yeah, she showed me one of those things that you keep next to the
Yes.
chair, you know, that they
Yes.
stick around all the paraphernalia in. Do you have that?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's talking about that. But she wasn't much for sewing or anything, but she had everything.
Yeah. I mean, she did. I think she sewed when she had to, even though she came from a huge um, sewing, crocheting
Oh,
family.
hold on. Hold on. You just answered your own question. So her family is all over there, right?
Yeah,
And they're all sewers and crocheters?
they were. Yes,
Okay.
but her two
She's
sisters are painting.
okay. But the point is she's in with that crowd again.
Oh, good.
You have to try to figure out, how do you place that? Why would she say she's sewing it? And it's like two mediums said it. That is so
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well, she's maybe doing something she wanted to get to, but never could.
yeah. Now you took, did I ask, no, I asked you if you took care of your sister, but did you take care of your mom also in the
N-
end?
No, I couldn't. No.
You couldn't. Was she in a home?
Yes. No, she was in their house.
You mean in your sister's house?
No, in
In her own house.
in her own house. Yes.
She was in her own house. And did she die in the house?
Yes.
And did she died like she was found in a, like, I don't feel like she was like, she's not showing me that, like she goes quietly. She just kind of
Yes.
slips away.
Yes. Yes, I was with her the day before she died, and very weak, very weak.
But you felt you had more time with her.
I didn't give that any thought. I just was there in the moment.
Okay, because what she's saying is that she thought she had more time, that she was just kind of there, and then all of a sudden the opportunity came up and she left. Do you understand that?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was quiet. It's almost like she
Yes.
slips away when nobody's looking.
It could have been that way, yes. I
I
mean, she was in a hospital bed, and
I kind of get the feeling like she just goes to sleep and it's unexpected.
yeah, I,
So
I I could believe that.
yeah. Um
Okay. Okay, let's stop for a moment. Yes, this is very difficult. Sorry, everybody. Dad's wanted to talk about his headstone. Oh, she doesn't know if it's a foot or a head. Is it the top, standing up kind of thing or a laying down kind of thing? What is it special about his headstone? So the sitter, who's obviously motivated to give this information, she says that her brother designed the headstone. Now, again, no names are mentioned. We don't know the name of the brother. We don't know the name of the dad. We don't know dates, anything like that. Very, very, very important thing what Phyllis said. I hope you guys caught it. She said, "Are there angel wings nearby?" In other words, not on his grave, but or his tombstone or his headstone. Are there angel wings nearby in a graveyard somewhere that I guess could be seen from the headstone, whatever that means? If a dead person could see from what? How much height? From standing? From laying down? Okay, it doesn't make sense, right? We know it doesn't make sense. But here's what she said. This is how they validate that it's them. Did you catch that? This is how they validate it by saying that there is a angel wing, something in the graveyard that has angel wings. Do you know what might have been a little more validating? How about you give us the name of the person or their phone number, when their first phone number when they were growing up, or maybe their address of their first home, or a name, a full name? Those might be a little more validating, or might maybe read off what's on that headstone. Tell me what it says. Because it's so sad, because this woman, Paula, who has been to another medium a week and a half ago, she says that So obviously she's into this. She's she says that some odd things have happened. And this each medium is a little bit different. And I find that interesting about these people is that what is different about the style of each medium. So Lady Phyllis does a lot with why are they talking about 2 children or 3 children or 4 children or one child in particular? She does it a lot. And then she says, you have to fit it in somewhere. You have to figure out why this makes sense. And all Phyllis is saying is, why are they talking about 2? Why are they talking about 3 children? How are they the same? She uses that a lot. If you watch these videos, you'll see her using that a lot. And then it's up to the sitter to make it make sense. Of course, none of it made sense. She's like, well, my husband and I had 2, and he had 4 kids, so we had a total of 6 kids. And then she finally makes sense. Oh my gosh, it makes sense now. It is Paula, her sister, and her brother. Those are 3. So we go until we get to a point where we finally figure it out. There are 3. A CL name. Claire, Carl. There was another one I didn't get it and wrote it down. Those are CL names. Claire, CLAIRE, and Carl, CARL. So there's a C and an L in it. That means it's a CL name. I don't know if Carl is actually a CL name, but I guess if you sort of think of it as phonetics, Carl, unless it's Carl with a K. This one was really not too nice. Have there are grandchildren? Yes. Did one of them die? Well, she say Passover. Isn't that I don't know. And she says, and then Paula says, not that I know of. Wouldn't you, as the grandmother, kind of know if your grandchild had died? I think you would know. Not that you know of. And then she said, wasn't there a miscarriage? And she says, not that I know of. Now, you might not know if there's miscarriage. Some women don't even know they've had a miscarriage. And then she pops in with, okay, we got it. Mom had a miscarriage. And so Lady Phyllis was able to say it was a boy. And that what came as a surprise because Paula didn't know that the miscarriage her mom had was a male. She's like, oh, really? So I don't know. Can you give us a little more information on that? Lady Phyllis, was the miscarriage before the birth of Paula, after the birth of Paula? When was that happened? Some information. You're the one that knows there's a boy over there who had dementia at the end. Probably my mother-in-law. We're really getting complicated here. Think about how many people this Paula person knows. If we can involve coworkers and neighbors, that's an awful lot of people. So no matter what Phyllis throws out, somebody's going to fit it somewhere, except she still can't come up with that seal name. Now she's brought in Charles or Claude. So we've got Claire, Carl, Charles, Claude, and there was another name and I can't quite remember it. But she said, or it could be a neighbor, somebody you don't even know that well. It could be that person that walks by and we don't even know who they are. Somebody you wave at once in a while. That coworker that you sort of knew. Somebody you went to high school with. Goodness gracious. Now, this next thing was a priest, somebody who was an uncle who was a priest, possibly a pastor, or who worked in the church, maybe a deacon, somebody who worked in the rectory, somebody who cleaned a church, somebody who mowed the lawn for a church. I'm only kidding. I mean, it was getting to be that desperate. Somebody who had something to do with a church. There was a guy. And Paula's going to try to figure it out. All right. Was your dad a veteran? A lot of people, a lot of males were veterans. And when they die, they get the little triangle flag. So yes, there was a flag and she was proud of it. Oh, she said something else too. She said, I had a reading with a medium a week and a half ago and the name and the CL came through. Now, isn't that interesting? And that's what Lady Phyllis is like, wow, that's odd. To me, it's just saying, yeah, it's so common what you've thrown out there that it's a trope that other mediums are going to use. I haven't heard a CL name being thrown out much. Usually it's a hard G or a J or an M name. But we'll have to watch for that. Maybe this is more common than I thought, that the sound CL or the letter CL are more commonly used in mediumship. And then this other stuff about a crochet basket, which her mother never crocheted, she never knit. And then she says another medium told me the same thing about a week and a half ago, which is interesting, but not really, because that does seem like it'd be kind of a pastime of somebody who does make it into her retirement years, which her family did. She said the medium also mentioned that. That's strange. And then she had a whole family of sewers. And then she's like, oh, they're all sewers. Well, that makes sense. No, no, actually, they were painters. Oh, well, it's all artistic. So they all together. Did you take care of your mom? No, I did not. She died in the house quietly. And remember, what you and I can't see is I've blurred out Paula, her face, but also Phyllis can see her probably more often than we can see her. So it's possible they're on she's seeing her facial expressions better than we are. And Phyllis is used to doing these a lot. So when we have somebody who can see, make a statement, and watch the sitter's reactions, that's going to help if the it's going to help with the progressive reading, because she knows which way to go. Okay. So let's go back over to this and see where we are. I hope you guys are taking notes.
Was she having trouble breathing towards the end?
Yes.
Was she wearing oxygen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting a better picture now, because she shows me she's in a bed and she's sort of disappearing into it.
Yeah.
But in her mind, she was vital.
Yeah.
I get the feeling like she'd be cooking or cleaning, like she didn't want to accept that this is where it ended up.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
understand?
I do understand. Yes. Mm-hmm.
She's giving me conflicting pictures. Like I see her in the kitchen and just going in the kitchen, but what she really is, she's going in a hospital bed with oxygen.
Right.
And she but she just, like I said, she gives me that she was surprised that she went. There
That's
was
it. Yeah.
a feeling of surprise. Like I
It wasn't sudden. It was expected.
I understand that. I'm going to tell you, when my mom was dying, she had lung cancer, and she was throwing off blood clots. And we had a DNR on her. At her wishes, no DNR, do not resuscitate. And she was so full of cancer, it was everywhere. And the doctor, she was throwing off the blood clots, and the doctor came out of the operating room. They were going to put a screen in to stop it. And he's laughing, and he says, your mother is completely full of cancer. And we go, yeah. And he says she wants her DNR returned. She wants to be resuscitated in case.
Oh my God.
And that's where your mom is taking me, like almost as though she went, but she would have stayed if she could have. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
That was her personality, that she didn't want to accept that it was over.
Right. She was not that old, 79. She was a fantastic cook. She grew up on a farm. So yeah, she cooked very well.
Strong. She was independent, strong her whole life.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like when she went, it was like, what do you mean you've come for me? I'm not ready. But it turns out she was. But she's okay over here. She's fine.
It's okay over here.
She's giving you yellow tulips. Why would she give you yellow tulips? Did she like tulips? Is your birthday? I don't know what the tulips mean, but it could be tulips are your sign for you to look for her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Remember I said there's something unusual?
Right. Yellow tulips.
She showed me these gorgeous yellow tulips, like a spray of them. They're gorgeous.
I have yellow daffodil bulbs that are supposed to arrive tomorrow.
Well, those are bulbs, and tulips and daffodils come, and these are really yellow. So plant them, think of her.
Okay, I will. Okay. I will.
Change it to daffodils being your sign. But she's showing me tulips, so maybe she wants you to buy some tulips to go with it.
I will.
Yeah, but yellow. Really
yellow.
Yellow.
My
Show me that's your favorite color?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Do you have any questions?
Um, I had a
Okay, so before we get to the questions, which is where she usually goes, she asks if they have any questions. Is yellow your favorite color? Yes. That's an odd color. Think it's a favorite. But maybe it's true. Maybe she's just now it's her favorite color because her mom is showing her yellow tulips. See how motivated these people are. They're willing to take whatever is thrown at them and turn it into a like a hit. Like she says, it would be like somebody having a six-sided die and rolling it. And they say the target number is 3. And so maybe the die rolls a 6. And they'd say, see, it's 2 3s. Or the target number is 3. They roll the die and it's a 4. And they say, almost, it was almost a 3. You're trying hard to make sense of whatever it is that the medium says. You're trying to hold on to that. You're trying to, we're pattern seeking animals. So they're trying to make sense of it. So what she does is she said, what is it about yellow tulips? And then she says, well, I have daffodil bulbs coming tomorrow. They're yellow. Ah, that maybe, that's the hit. She's trying to make it, she's making a hit. All right. Did she have breathing problems before she died? Yeah, no kidding. Was she on oxygen? Yes. After she'd already said she had breathing problems. She went quietly, but she would have stayed if she could. If I could be healthy and stay, I'll stay. Why would she want to go? Why does she want to? Why? Sorry, I had a cough drop in my mouth. Why would knowing what she knows now, the mom knows now, in heaven, knitting with her siblings and having a great time, learned how to crochet. Why would, knowing what she knows now, why would she want to stay on Earth if she had a choice? Her daughter is going to come visit her, or her daughter's going to be there. And if you're there for an eternity in heaven or whatever it is, wouldn't you like that's tomorrow in the life of, in the life, in the era of being a dead person in heaven. Okay, none of this makes sense. All right, so we're at the point where now Paula is going to ask questions. I've got 5 minutes, 6 minutes almost left on this, so we might be able to do it in one go. This is always the interesting part because so far nothing specific has been said and we don't have any names. So because Paula, I'm just going to make a call out here, because Paula has gone to another medium a week and a half ago. Maybe she's going to ask for clarification about what the other medium said, or things that just weren't, she wished she could have asked that last medium. So I don't know what's going to happen next. Leave me your predictions. Let's see. Here we go.
Close friend, colleague who passed. And I just wanted to know if you're getting anything from him, if you want more information.
Information. Is
Right.
there an M associated with him? Martin, Marty, Matthew.
McDaniel.
McDaniel would work. So I'm getting the M sound around him.
Mm-hmm.
And, you worked with him. You're
Yes.
not remote. You're not remote. You work in an office.
Oh no, I retired a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah. And did he pass suddenly?
From what I understand, he had cancer. I don't know how long he lasted.
Yeah, I'm getting that he passes also unexpected. Like maybe he was in the middle of his treatment, and what I am getting is it was unexpected, and it would like maybe they gave him more time, and it was a quick kind of thing, and he just said he's happy that he's out of it.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
I can. Yeah.
cancer treatment can be very difficult. But I do get that it's unexplained. Was he married?
Yes.
Yeah, and he had children.
Yes.
Were there three? Because I'm still getting that three. Did he have three kids?
I think two.
Could there be a grandchild in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Um,
think he had several grandchildren.
okay. He's showing me three again. Maybe there were three of you who worked together. I'm still getting that three, and that's strong. The three
Really?
is, yeah. So I don't know what the three is. March. It could be March.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't know. Tell
Well,
him to explain.
There you go.
they would. They give me a picture, a flash, and it's an instant. And you got to grab it. Were
Oh,
you
gee.
working on a project together? Did you finish a project that he was working on?
Um, uh, Not like a big project, but
But
it was dated. Every day we would have contact.
yeah, because what he is saying is that you had to complete something that he didn't get to complete.
Hmm,
Like whatever you were working on.
I don't know. I
I,
don't know. Okay.
but I do feel like there's an incompleteness there, that he was
Hmm.
working on something and he never got to finish it.
I'll give that some thought. I don't know.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, um, as far as good things and trials and tribulations in my family.
Well, I don't typically predict the future, but I don't
No,
see,
but let's say going on now. Anything that's going on now.
is somebody going through a health indisposition?
Yes.
Is that your husband?
Yes.
Um, and is he going through the diagnostics now?
No, he did all that.
You've done
Yeah.
that. Now it's treatment.
Right.
Yeah. Is he giving you a hard time?
No.
He's easy. Um, is it going to be a long treatment?
Um, it's not so much, let's say, a treatment. It's physical therapy. I don't think he's going to um improve much.
What I'm getting is it's going to be long term, and he's not going to be happy.
No,
He's not going to be happy with that. That
no.
it's going to be a part of your life. That for me, it's all I see is treatment, and I see that it's going to be part of your life. That it'll get better, and then he's going to constantly have to attend to it, whatever it
Yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
going to be a long-term thing, and he's not going to like that. He's not going to like being chained to going for whatever the treatment is. He's not going to be happy, but he has to suck it up. That's
Well,
it.
actually, he's very gung ho going to therapy. I mean, we've been doing this for 5 years. He's gung ho.
Good. Let him stay gun ho.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
he's
yeah.
flagging, you have to say no. It doesn't matter. You have to keep. You have to
Hmm.
keep because you can't stop. Whatever it is he's doing, he cannot stop.
Right, right. Do you have? I have a friend in Houston. I used to know way long time ago. But a good friend.
Is that friend on the other side?
No, no, still living.
Okay. I'm not getting anything
No.
about, yeah. But if you have a friend, contact them. Let
Okay.
look them up and write.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't, time, what your mom is showing me is an hourglass. And if you have questions about them, write
Mm,
them. See how they're
okay.
doing. Um, but she says you may not be happy with the responses. Like getting what was may not be what is, and
Right, right,
you may be sorry if So check
right.
it out on Facebook and see if
Okay.
you want to pursue that.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Phyllis.
you're welcome, Paula.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Hey, Trudy.
All right. Woo! We got through it 21 minutes. Gosh, you guys feel like there's people here listening with me, whether you are or not. It sure feels like it. So We've done with the yellow, so we got to the questions. The questions she had were about an old friend who was close that she used to work with, a colleague, Gue. And she tells him it was a male. The name she came up with were Martin, Matthew, and I think the other name was Marty. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And so Paula was able to say, oh, McDaniel. She throws it out there instead of waiting for Phyllis to get it right. Oh, yeah, McDaniel. That must be it. That sounds like a last name to me, not a first name. What do you guys think? Again, with the three, did he have children? Was he married? Again with the guesses. Did he have three children? No, I think he had more. Were there three of you guys who worked together? I thought we already figured out what the three had to do with anything. That was earlier, and that was because Paula, her sister, and brother, those are three. So why is she still talking about three? And Phyllis keeps talking about three children, three people who are close together, a group of three. They were very close. And then she throws out, maybe it's March, the month of March, which is the third month. That is totally a different thing. How about a house number that has a three in it somewhere? Or a phone number that has a three in it somewhere? Or maybe a highway that has a three? How about a license plate on a car that has a three? And this woman who believes who's so motivated to believe that she's seeking out multiple psychics is like, oh yeah, okay, great, that's great. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. How can that make any sense? Doesn't make any sense. Then she asked about this coworker, did they have a project together that Paula had to finish? You like her answer? She calls him out. She calls Phyllis out. She goes, why didn't you ask him? She's like, I don't know. I don't know about this project he's talking about. Can you just ask him? And Phyllis didn't like that. Did you see how she responded? She responded, oh, it doesn't work like that. It's just flashes. I just get flashes. Oh, yeah? I've been hearing you for, all these readings you've been doing, Phyllis, and it is a lot more in a flash. You go into detail about stuff and what she's saying, and it's not flashes. It's whatever Phyllis wants to say. Nobody cares. Nobody's checking. And then this was interesting. Another miss. Phyllis says, what other questions? And Paula says, how about trials that are happening now in my family? And Phyllis says, I don't do future. Well, yeah, you do. You talk about future all the time. They want you to look out. I mean, yesterday, in the video we were watching, was the reading we were watching, you were talking about there being snakes in the front yard, and that they should watch out for. And oh, there's some flagstones in the front yard, an uneven sidewalk. Somebody's going to trip on that. You better be very careful. That's a future event. He's not talking about people falling over on the sidewalk before. He's talking about people walking, tripping over the flagstones in the future. Or a snake in the grass. There's a snake's nest in the grass. And that he said that the son needed to stop chewing the pin. These are all future events. Oh, I guess you could say present, but present is future also. So she says, oh, I know you're not going to be predicting the future. But about her husband and who's having treatments done and physical therapy. So Phyllis acts like that's a recent thing, like, oh, well, he's not going to like that very much. It's going to be tiring and demanding. And she says, well, actually, we've been dealing with it for over 5 years, and he quite likes the physical therapy. Oh, okay. Well, you got to make sure you continue doing what they tell you to do. Well, no kidding. Isn't that what he's been doing for 5 years? And it's going to become part of your life. Well, it has been for 5 years, so I don't think that it's likely to change anytime soon. And now she asked about a friend in Houston. no names, of course. And so Phyllis has to say, is that a person who's alive or dead? And she says, there's somebody who's alive. And then good advice. Why don't you just contact them? What do you think? This is a telephone system here that you supposed to be a telephone to the dead, right? Why don't you just contact them? Look them up on Facebook and see how they're doing. And then the advice from the wisdom from the dead mom. What was may not be what is. Maybe she should cross stitch that on a towel or something. So that's into that reading. What do you guys think? 20 minutes. This woman's obviously a believer. When she leaves this reading and she tells her husband or whomever, well, I had a reading today with Lady Phyllis and it went really, really well. She was in contact with my mom, my dad, my in-laws, or at least my mother-in-law, my coworker. She couldn't reach my friend that's in Houston. She couldn't get a hold of them because they're still alive. She knew what did she get right? What would she be bragging about or saying that the psychic got right? That she was in touch with a brother and that there was a miscarriage. My mom had a miscarriage and it was a little boy. And she was in contact with my sister, who probably had a drinking problem. We didn't know that, but she probably had a drinking problem. And that there is validation that she was talking to the dad because at the graveyard, there is something that has angel wings on it at the graveyard. So it's definitely dad because I know I've seen angel wings at the graveyard. So therefore, we definitely were talking to dad. And that she knew that I had kids and grandkids, and that I can't think of it right now, but there's probably some man who has a religious something collar or doesn't actually mean a collar, even though she saw a collar. It means that it's somebody who works in the church. Could be anybody who works in the church, but she did say it was a man. Oh, and she also said that mom's over on the other side. She's knitting and crocheting because she didn't have time for it here in this life. So she's now hanging out with her sisters over there, Aunt Mary, and they're crocheting and they're knitting. And and mom wants me to get some yellow tulips because she knows yellow is my favorite color. And she knew about the bulbs that were coming tomorrow that are daffodils, and she wants me to get some tulips to add to it as well. And my coworker, McDaniel, who she got right away because she got the M, she knew that he is thanking her for a project she had to finish that he had started. And I can't quite think of what it is now. So do you see how that's going to end up sounding like it was a really legitimate reading, that there were so many specifics? If somebody told me that, well, before I started learning about how vague this actually is, it's like a game of telephone. So-and-so says something, then so-and-so says something, then so-and-so here's the interpretation of what the other said. So it seems like there's a disconnect of what was actually said and what is repeated sometimes multiple times. So what she's saying, you just listened to this. None of that was true. She got there in the end, but Paula had to make sense of it, or Paula offered the information herself. So I didn't hear anything specific. Not a name, not a date, not even the amount of children people had, not a health thing. She said, did your mother-in-law have trouble breathing at the end? And she said, yes. And she asked if she was on oxygen. She says, yes. I don't really see anything. She got a lot wrong and she made a lot of guesses. She said dad was Dad was first and when mom was actually the first to die. CL name. Was your dad a veteran? But that's kind of a good guess. I don't know. So let's think back on the rules we had before we started. Is this entertainment? As it says on her website, Lady Phyllis's website. Is this entertainment? Are you entertained? Or should I say Paula was entertained? Well, maybe Paula was, but she believes. So is this entertainment? Is this all fun and games? No, I don't think so. And she spends a lot of time talking about their last moments, their death. I find that really ugly that they're focusing on their death. I mean, do we really need the person has all their wealth of knowledge from their past their lives and they want to focus on their death? Like the last instances, their dying breaths, what was going on? They really want to focus on that? In Lady Phyllis's mind, that's all they ever seem to want to talk about. And okay, so was it does it help this person to move on with whatever grief she has at all? But she doesn't seem to be in grief, like in like really bad grief. She seems to be actually quite okay with it. Like she said when her mother-in-law or was it her mom died, that it was like, oh no, I just accepted it. That's what it was. I didn't really think much about it. It was all planned. We knew she was going to die. So do you think this helped her? Well, I guess only Paula can say if it was help, and we have to wait and see. If Paula knew what we knew, what we know about how there was very little contact, I mean, there was nothing really that was accurate. So if Paula really acknowledged that nothing was really said, would Paula say that that was helpful? Honestly, I don't know because I think that this woman is going to find any kind of challenge to mediumship something that she won't accept because obviously she gets readings. Would you say that she gave any financial advice? No, there's no financial advice in this one. There is in others. Did she give any health advice? She kind of was downplaying, poo-pooing physical therapy. Like, oh, that's not going to be any fun. Well, you're not going to he's not going to like that. Um, it's going to be something that's going to be with you forever. It is going to be part of your life. So she didn't really give medical advice, but she didn't really make it very positive either, did she? And yeah, it was just not even a really okay reading. And she tried. Lady Phyllis tried with a lot of specifics, throwing out names that if they'd hit, that it sure would have been valuable. It sure would have been nice. So what is missing, as I always say, that should be if she's communicating with dead people, longer than a flash, because obviously she just said that, but there's more than a flash. She got no names right and no dates right, no locations, no cause of death, not really anything. And do you think the dead really want to just talk about their own deaths as if it was the most important thing that ever happened to them? I mean, I guess it's important when you die, but when there's so many other messages you would have, if you died, let's say you could communicate with your living relatives, besides saying, I love you and I'm watching over you, which I hope that's what's happening to some extent. Wouldn't you want to say something more to them? Advise them, help them in making better decisions, telling them what stock to buy, invest in, who to who might be winning elections, where to move. They've got all the wisdom in the world up there in this fictional heaven. All the people of all times that have died, you should be able to be in contact with them. And the best you can do is talk to them about getting some yellow tulips Wow. Just seems like a waste. I'm sorry we had to go through this. I have to go through it, and I've still got more to do. So if you have gotten this far in the video, please like, please subscribe, please hit the little alert bell so that you can be notified whenever whenever I upload another video. I've got more I've got to get done. Hopefully they're not quite this long. It's really hard when it's 20 minutes long. Trust me. Even my cat has abandoned me. He's not even in here sleeping. All right, everybody, take care. Leave me comments. I definitely want to see what it is that you guys have said about the reading with Paula. Take care.